Semi-exciting edition of BreakLines, the movie. I am with Jana, the mother of Yiddishland, cultural center here in La Jolla, San Diego, that helps promote Jewish and Yiddish culture. I understand you have some concerns with wokery and its influence on the art world, and can you fill us in a little bit about that? What are some of your basic observations relating to this?
I don't even know if we need this term, wokeness. I think it's a little bit artificial. It's an attempt to be equal and be inclusive. But to me, the true inclusivity, as we talked before, and as you know from our programs, is to have people of all political views, all ages, races, etc. Zip codes, very important. That's the true inclusivity.
Right. And how do you think wokeness undermines that? Wokeness claims to be
There
part
is
of
a lot
that.
of hate as a part of wokeness, and this part bothers me. I have no problem with the messages necessarily, how originally they've been, but if hate is a part of it, and if we start to divide people into categories, then I have a problem with that.
How do you feel the hate? Have you seen
It's
examples
too
of it?
aggressive. If we cannot have a discussion, if a censorship is a part of it, then it's not inclusivity.
Do you feel it's hostile to particular races and groups?
Well, if you don't agree with us, then
Right.
you're not a human.
Right.
So of course it's hostile.
If you don't believe that that person, because of their color of skin, is an oppressor group, and that person, because of their skin color, is in the oppressed group,
It's too simple.
right?
It's not, life is not simple.
And hate can grow out of that, right? That simplification.
Well, it comes down to who creates this divisions between people, and these are politicians who want us to fight against each other, so then they can do what they want with us.
Right.
And instead of rebelling against them and demanding our rights, we fight each other, and they gain more power. And that's a very old tool that has been used by different civilizations, religions. It's nothing new.
And now, as I understand it, it is affecting the art world. Are you
It's
seeing
affecting
this?
everybody, everywhere.
Right.
Kids, adults, families, friends. It's everywhere.
Training us to judge people in very simplistic fashion.
Yes, because it feels great to judge. And we are tribal by nature,
Right.
so it feeds this primal instinct.
Right.
And it's easy to judge, it's easy to pull out your phone and
Right.
write something angry. And to make a real change takes a while and takes more effort.
And it always helps if you delusionally convince yourself you are one, virtuous, and two, a victim.
Oh, I
That
know,
gives
I
you the
know everything.
self-righteousness to sustain
Here I feel
your
like
delusions.
an expert. I'm a Polish Jew. I know everything about victims. It's very easy to be a victim, to just sit and cry. Then no.
Oy vey.
Yeah, oy vey! Exactly. But what kind of problem does it solve to constantly talking about how you're a victim? That's not gonna solve anything.
Do you feel wokeness has become harder to ignore in everyday life and even in terms of the arts?
Because we give up to it too easily. We have to be inclusive for real.
Right.
And open the door and talk to people and discuss.
Do you feel a majority of people actually want to do this and are afraid to?
Absolutely.
20, 30 years ago, gays came out of the closet en masse, and it was a very liberating and empowering
Yeah, of
experience.
course.
And I get the sense that in 2023, the more and more people I speak to are of the mindset you just described, but are afraid to speak up. And I get the sense that we need to have a coming out party, where it is our time, as Americans collectively across the political divide, most of whom don't agree with this illiberal ideology, to come out of the closet.
Sure.
Yeah?
I agree, yes. Well, people don't want to speak up because also we have bigger problems, right? So they're busy dealing with bigger problems than...
But is wokery really a minor problem when
Well,
it is trying to rewrite our values as a country and undermine many of the key values that have made us strong and unique as a nation?
I agree, but I don't think that's the perception.
The California Arts Council has a document outlining what's required of you to get grant money. And they say their mission, first and foremost, is to strengthen arts, culture, and creative expression as the tools to cultivate a better California for all. The eligibility requirements have a racial equity statement. And it says, although not factors in grant decisions, we strongly encourage applications from organizations that are led by, represent, and or serve systemically marginalized communities, which may include Arabs, Middle Easterns, North Africans, South Asians, Asian Black, African American, California Native American, LGBTQ, disabled, and so forth. No mention of Jews, of course, at the same time, assuming that these people have somehow systemically, conspiratorially been shunned by larger society. Has this made it more difficult for you to get grant money?
I think so. I get a lot of rejections. I don't know why. But in my life, I was pretty good at grant writing before, and all of a sudden, I'm not good at it. I don't know what happened, and I don't know why the Jews are not here.
Equity and the notions of wokery are strewn throughout the document, but it says how in the application process you have to explain how you are promoting equity, i.e. equal outcomes, how your organization is committed to that. It would seem to me that grant money should be given to groups that have something of artistic value, and what they shouldn't have to prove what they're doing in terms of equity. I'm under the assumption that most groups and people aren't conspiring to slight other groups, and that is under American law, how you're supposed to do it. And this document seems to cynically take the position that unless you prove to us that you are fighting every day from morning till dusk in the name of woke equity, we're going to assume that you are prejudiced and not worthy of our funding. Can this undermine the arts and like creative output?
Yes, but look what's going on in La Jolla. One gallery is closing after another. Chains are coming. Dunkin' Donuts. You know, this culture will all soon be erased. So we should really fight against it to stay strong and to teach people about culture. It's a huge part of life. And it would be a big shame to lose it.
Hollywood, it does seem that the priorities, for example, in the case of the Arts Council, is becoming political rather than artistic.
Yes, agreed on that topic.
Right.
I don't see any real diversity in the arts of La Jolla. Do you?
No.
Seriously? If so much funding is given into diversity, then show me some examples.
Right.
You can't tell the artist, the painter, the writer to choose a specific topic and write according to a formula. That's not how it works, right? The artist has a vision and follows the vision. It comes from the heart, it comes from life experiences. Doesn't come from the TV screen, whatever the politician says that you should write about, you have to follow. It's never been like that.
Have you spoken to other artists who share your concerns about the influence of wokery and this illiberalism, this politicization of the art landscape?
Yes.
And are any of them vocal?
I'm making circles. Yes, I'm making circles. I go to Los Angeles, Oceanside, all around, and see if we could collaborate and be inclusive, really inclusive. We need that badly. I like this word. I'm not offended by this word, but it has to be
real. It can't be abused. It can't be newspeak.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You talked a little bit about newspeak and how this is a big problem.
Correct.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Jana, I want to thank you for being with me. As always, it's a pleasure catching up with you. A reminder for those watching to subscribe and share.
Correct.
What you've seen.
Thank you so much.